How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today, I'm going to talk about how to be less frugal for a frugal person. This topic might sound a little bit ridiculous for people who are naturally spendy or people that are in debt. But for a frugal person, a person that's trying to retire early, frugality is sort of like built into their DNA, like myself. It's really hard for a frugal person to spend anything unless it's like a really good deal, or maybe when you're buying it you're making money on it or something. So today I'm gonna give some tips on how to be less frugal. If you're lucky enough to retire early, then all your income or gains in net worth comes from stock gains, interest, dividends, real estate gains, or maybe rent that you collect. So there's some stuff that fluctuate a bit, but then there are also some hard income like interest and dividends. So if your spending is less than that, instead of setting a budget to put a cap on spending, you set a budget to spend to that cap. It's a little bit different there. For me, I don't actually have a budget, but let's say there's a $500 limit per month on restaurants. Some days I spend $10 on food. Other times I might spend $150 on dinner. But generally, I'm super frugal. So most of the time, like 80-90% of the time, I am eating at home. So I might eat out anywhere between 0 or 5 or 6 times per week. But when you add it all up, you have a rough budget that you can spend all the way up to. Spending equals experiences, right? If you don't spend money, you're not going to get the experience. For example, maybe you have to buy tickets to go to something, right? I just went to Winchester Mystery House. It's ridiculously expensive, like $50 just for an admission ticket to go to this thing. But the way I look at it is sometimes you just have to go. I've been there already, but my wife hasn't. So when you go to these things, you get new experiences, and experiences is life itself. If you don't spend money, you're not living in a way, right? You can just collect all the money in the world, don't do anything at all, like the Witch of Wall Street. To live life, you have to spend some kind of money. It's kind of like an exchange of value. People generated something that's worth seeing, so then they charge a ticket price. It might sometimes be a little bit expensive, but you need to pay that in order to experience it. You're exchanging value here. You give the money and then you get some life experiences. Other things you spend your money on is like products, goods and services, and restaurants. If it's a product, think about it this way. You can always buy it, even if it's very expensive. You can give it a try. In the US, there's a very generous return policy, 30 days. And if it really does not work out, you can always return it. And if it's past the return period, if you get good with selling your used stuff on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, there's a delta between what you paid for and how much you sell it for. The earlier that you sell it for, the less loss you're gonna take. But let's say you bought some headphones, right? It's like $500. You unboxed it. It drops down probably like 25% right after you open it, right? Because it's used. But let's say you use it for a year and then it drops by half. It lost $250 of value. But hey, you got the experience. You're essentially renting that headphone for $250. You know what the latest and greatest feels like. You go out, you can talk about it, you have experience on it. But once you have experience on it, you kind of don't need it anymore, right? It's an old device. Why keep on using it? Maybe there's something better. So you can take a loss on that product, sell it off, and then you can go get your new one. I know this sounds like consumerism, and it is, but this is kind of looking at it from another point of view of gaining experiences in whatever product, service, or restaurant, and intentionally doing it because you're too frugal a person. Now, here's what I think about services and restaurants, where essentially after you pay for it, you can't get any of it back. It's essentially 100% gone. I've tried a lot of restaurants. 9 out of 10 of them, I actually will not go back. And there are very few and that are my go-tos in the Bay Area, and probably like 1 out of 10 become something I would try again that is really good. So for me, I think of it as sort of price of admission. You have to pay that in order to try it. Yes, sometimes it might be expensive, sometimes not, but you're paying that money to try it the first time. Now, for them to keep on earning your money, in order for you to keep on going back, they better be really good. You better feel okay after eating it. It better taste fresh. It's a good value, etc., etc. That's why you'd go back. When you go to all these places, you sort of have like a broad view of life. You kind of know what's where, and if you keep on trying these things, you're going to be in the know. You'll be like, oh yeah, that one is good right now, that one is good. But my experiences with restaurants is they are transient. Not a lot of restaurants will stay consistent for a decade or more. A lot of them are 1 year and then, they're not as good. And then you have some that last a little bit longer and others that are super consistent for a long time, but eventually they close down because the owner no longer wants to work or something. Another way to think about this is also to have the bank pay for it. And you guys know I like to churn credit cards. These are my current ones. I'm not going to go through them in super detail. I do have to say though, churning credit cards and bank accounts is good only for the financially savvy that are not in debt. You have to be very good with credit cards, and just because you have a $10,000 spending limit, you're not gonna go YOLO and spend it all. Here are my recent churn bonuses. $750 on $6,000 spent on a Chase Inc. business credit card. $200 on a $1,000 spent on a Bread cashback American Express card. This is my second one, so they allow you to have two. $400 on a Wells Fargo checking with more than $3,000 of direct deposit within 90 days. I think that was a targeted offer. Right now, it might not be as good. Rakuten also has a $30 off $30. It's essentially free if you don't already have a Rakuten account. There's no guilt in that now, right? Because you're gonna get it paid back. Just remember that when they do pay you back, it takes a while, maybe like 2 or 3 months. They pay in quarterly, so you gotta wait a while. But essentially, you're not spending any money if you buy something that's around $30. My affiliate link down in the video description below. Another way to think about this is whatever you are wondering about, it just kind of stays in your mind and it's taking up mind space. Once you experience it, you get rid of that, right? Maybe something else is going to get filled in as a result of you trying this. So I kind of think of it kind of like a gate that you need to pass, or like it's kind of like a video game level where you got to try all those things and boom, all of those things disappear because you tried it. And then all of a sudden, the next level comes up. It's more interesting because you've already passed that current gate. It makes life a little bit more interesting. Whatever that you try, you don't know what you're going to get. You have to try it first in order to figure it out. But once you do it, you sort of become slightly different because you get those new experiences. You use this information and then maybe you're interested in other things. It sort of branches out and then you can choose your life. You're like, oh, I want to go that way. This is interesting because I tried it. Oh, I want to try more of that. Or it gives you some knowledge. It's like, oh, I really hate it. Or something like that is really bad. So in the future, I'm not going to have something like that is similar. Like I said before, this sounds like consumerism. It is not if it's controlled and it doesn't put you into debt. When I talk about frugality, anti-consumerism, it makes it almost seems like consuming anything is the devil or something. It's not, because people need stuff to live on. And you can most certainly live like in 1990 and still use all the old stuff, or you can try all the new stuff and live like it's 2025. Which would you prefer? Hope these tips helps you guys, especially if you're frugal in spending in a controlled manner. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.